Hello fight fans, thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting on, Dana White shares high praise for Max Holloway ahead of UFC 300. Next, Islam Makhachev takes apart Max Holloway's comments about not being an active champion. Lastly, Belal Muhammad explodes after Leon Edwards' manager explains why UFC 300 fight didn't get booked. Dana White is sharing high praise for Max Holloway ahead of UFC 300. The much-anticipated historic UFC 300 will take place this Saturday, April 13th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. On the ticket is a lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway for the BMF belt. Gaethje, the current BMF champion, last fought in July of last year at UFC 291, defeating Dustin by KO of round 2. Holloway has won 2 in a row, coming into his battle with Justin Gaethje defeating Arnold Allen and the Korean Zombie, respectively. It was during a recent interview that Dana White shared his thoughts on the BMF title showdown and Max Holloway. Here's what he said. Max Holloway, always a big fan favorite. Probably the greatest featherweight of all time. Going up against Gaethje, who is a human highlight reel. UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev has responded to Max Holloway's accusations of ducking a fight with Justin Gaethje earlier this year. Makhachev, who's expected to return to the octagon this summer, recently called the BMF fight useless for both Gaethje and Holloway. This prompted a strong response from Holloway, who questioned Makhachev's hesitancy to face Gaethje at UFC 298 back in February. In a recent tweet, Makhachev appeared to respond to Holloway's remarks. Here is what he said. For the record, since 2021, I fought 7 times, while Holloway did 5 fights and Justin just 4. Do your homework before talking trash about your champ. Makhachev last defended the UFC lightweight title at UFC 294, knocking out Alexander Volkanovski with a head kick. He was originally supposed to face Charles Oliveira, who withdrew from the fight on short notice due to injury. The Gaethje-Holloway winner could potentially skip the line for the next lightweight title shot. It's been rumored that Dustin is Makhachev's desired next opponent after he finished Benoit Saint-Denis at UFC 299. Gaethje was originally expected to be Makhachev's next opponent after claiming the BMF title at UFC 291. But the fight didn't come to fruition, and Makhachev ended up defeating Volkanovski in their rematch. The bad blood between Belal Muhammad and UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards appears to be nearing a boiling point. Edwards is targeting a return to defend the UFC welterweight title later this year, potentially against Muhammad. He last fought against Colby Covington at UFC 296, earning a unanimous decision victory. An argument can be made that Muhammad deserves #1 welterweight contender status after winning 9 of his last 10 fights. He hasn't fought since a win against Gilbert Burns at UFC 288 last year. A title fight between Edwards and Muhammad was briefly linked to UFC 300, but the matchup fell through in favor of other desired matchups. Edwards' manager Tim Simpson gave his thoughts on the Muhammad fight not coming to fruition at UFC 300. It was asked by us. I assumed that was what it was going to be, but no, there was no discussion for UFC 300. I don't want to pile on Belal Muhammad. He seems like a decent enough guy, but it doesn't surprise me. Belal and Leon is probably not the marquee fight you want for this event, if I can say that respectfully. Earlier this year, it was reported that Muhammad wasn't one of the 3 opponents that Edwards accepted for a UFC 300 slot. Shavkat Ramonov, Islam Makhachev, and Hamzat Chimaev were revealed as the targeted opponents for Edwards. In a recent tweet, Muhammad appeared to respond to Simpson's remarks. Here is what he said. Leon, his manager, his coach, his brother, all bitch. Muhammad and Edwards fought earlier in their UFC careers. Their March 2021 bout was ruled a no contest due to an accidental eye poke that prevented Muhammad from continuing. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.